apologies. I'm not sure what happened. My video just cut off in the last one. Okay, so I'm going to just pick up exactly where I was, which was because Pluto wants you to take your power back, and Aquarius is our outward humanitarian sign where even though we're understanding more ourselves, it's so that we can go out and be of service to the wider world. So how can you take your power back in the community? Now you need to think very carefully. I want you to take real time with this. Even if you bring your family into a discussion about this, 19 years is a long time. Make very careful observations right now of what has started to take place in your life. For example, a very good friend of mine, her children are now, one of them is leaving home and her youngest is finishing school, and life is changing completely. So this family structure and unit that they had for 16 years, which is a very long, beautiful time, is changing. It's changing. Okay, and for that friend to look back at 2008 when Pluto moved into Capricorn would also see what was changing then. I remember we've spoken about it, so I'm again encouraging you to do the same. Now, look at your community. How does it look? Are you well connected to your family? Are you well connected to your neighbors? Do you belong to an institution like a church or a club, a sports club, a book club? Are you perhaps in a toxic community? Are you perhaps living in a place where the people around you are not inclusive? Are you not able to break through their walls? Are they very, just keep to themselves? You don't necessarily even know who your neighbors are. What does community look like for you? Are you not at all in a community? Because if that's the case, which I know for very many people it will be, even though you're on social media all the time, you're just there in the background, right? So that's not a holistic community. That's a one-sided, that's a computer community, and that will only take you so far. Okay, in this shift in our lives now and for the next 19 years. So if you're not part of a community, now's the time to establish one, however that looks. It might be very difficult for you. You might think, oh my gosh, this is very uncomfortable. So perhaps start it like this. Go to a coffee shop that looks interesting to you, or perhaps that you've been to and you enjoy, and just have a coffee. Maybe invite a friend, maybe don't. Just go on your own. See who there is, who can you connect with, smile at. Perhaps the owner is there and they're very friendly and they have a little chat with you. Just start like that. Just get out a little bit. Maybe just even go for a drive. Go for a drive in a part of your neighborhood that you haven't really been to before. There's a lot you can do. Go for a walk. Join the library. Perhaps go to the library. Perhaps you haven't been there in a long time. It's little things like that. If you are very much in communities, now is the time to strengthen them, as well as become very, very subjective. The community circles you want to move in now, it's time for them to grow. You might need to cull them, and you might want to really sit and analyze or just feel into what kind of community do you want? What kind of friendships do you want? Do you want it to be an all-female community? Do you want to have family involved so that your friend, your children are connecting with other kids as well as hubby, as well as you? However that looks, it's important. This is 19 years of your life coming up that are really going to be shaped now by this. And if it's going to be a time, if you know in which house it falls for you, because you know it's in Aquarius, so now it becomes important what house is Aquarius in your chart, okay? And what does Pluto rule in your chart? Where is Pluto natally in your chart? So it's a little bit of technical stuff, but when you can bring it together, you can then really, really navigate these next 19 years to the point where how Saturn is affecting you now, and even the moon cycles from now on, they take on a whole new flavor because of this important transit. This, as well as Uranus moving into Aquarius, and now us having, of course, Saturn in Pisces. These are the three most important aspects of our lives for, I almost want to say, the rest of your life, okay? Even if you're young and you still have way more than 19 years to live, what you do in these next 19 years, oh, my friends, it is powerful. I am going to constantly mention Avalon's Child from now on. because not only am I, again, so absolutely in gratitude to be able to do this work, but the more I can just bring little bits of what happens in that program into your everyday life, you can start to become aware as well. So, if you're not ready for as long as a 4-month journey, you can do your life map with me, which is 2 sessions and a recording, and all of this will come up for you. You will know in which house Pluto falls during this important transit, and we can from there do some really solid planning. Okay, so if you want to do then a transit with that, there are so many possibilities. Please, please use any and all possibilities around you that enable you to grow, that enable you to empower yourself, because that is what the rest of the world needs. Again, I'm going to remind you, your talents are not yours, they are ours, they're everybody else's. So become responsible in those talents, understand what they are, really take yourself to the absolute limit that you can. And it's not a limit that is limiting, it's limitless. It's the small but powerful things. It's in these exercises, even understanding something like, hey man, you know what I used to bead? And I mean, for me, this is true. When I first moved to Cape Town in 1996, I started beading, and I was actually really blooming good. I never sold them because I didn't want to, but I made them for people as gifts. And it was amazing always to see these people's real gratitude because I just got them, right? That's a gift I have. For you, it might seem like a small thing. For me, it seemed like a very small thing. Although if I think about it now, like I've just said, when I used to see people's reactions, it was really special. So again, that's a talent that goes out into the world, and by seeing the world react, because I'm in my full pleasure, so it's a really beautiful expression of that talent, I get fed to become more and more and more of that. Another thing that I want to share that's happened with me, because it just helps you also to see in every aspect of your day how you can bring this in. I mentioned a few videos back that I have had a really rough last 4 months. And the moment I decided to 100% embrace that, because through that I'm going to understand the other side of it, right? I'm going to expand into the growth of it. In the last few days, I have really come to understand, and how beautiful that that Saturn has just gone direct again, because I understand as well that all of that has led to the point where, okay, now that channel is really open. Where before, these last 4 months, I've really struggled. Why are these things not working? I'm putting so much effort in. I'm putting so much love in. What's going on? I at times got stuck in that, which is fine and normal and a hole that we fall into. But by deciding that I wanted to fall less and less into that hole, and I wanted to start walking around it more and more, and actually be able to be of service to people who are also falling into that hole, what has come for me is where I would wake up, I'd go to bed really early, and have done for years, and by that time normally I'm really tired, but then what's happening is 1:30 I'm awake, and then I'm awake, or 3:30. So eventually I'm tired. And then you know how this works. The rest of you is not working optimally because you're tired. Okay. So what happened was I realized, actually, I'm not tired at 8 o'clock anymore, and I'm going to push it a bit. So I started pushing it till about 10 o'clock, and then going and then sleeping really well, and waking up at 5:30 or 4:30 and feeling, awesome. And the last few days, it's just really hit home that actually what's happening for now, and that's the beautiful thing, I don't have to make any other plans, I just need to honor it and do it, is my body actually doesn't want me to wake up at 5:30 and start working immediately. What my body wants me to do, yes, is wake up at 5:30 or 4:30, but then get up and walk outside a bit and sit with what's happening with the nature, how it's waking up, because that's what I love to do. Do my prayer, do my meditation. Because what's been happening is I wake up and I immediately get, I must work, I must do all this stuff, and all the things that actually are going to support that work, and for that work to be productive, proactive, and successful, is to wake up and sustain me, my body, my energy, how I work. And so I've come to realize that for now, and from now until my next cycle kicks in, which might be 19 years from now, who knows, might be a month, is that here at about 11:30, 12 o'clock, then I can start working. And really what's come home to me, because that's been happening in the last 2 days, is by the time I start working, I'm actually quite inspired. And that's what I've been wanting. Because I've been lying awake in the morning, early morning, the whole rest of the world is sleeping, and then I'm like getting all these inspired, wow, I'm gonna, yes, gosh, I can, oh, that's so beautiful to bring it together like that. Now I really understand it and I can present it. But then by 12 o'clock, 11:30, I'm so tired because I've just been in the wrong groove. So look into that. Whatever's knocking on your door, listen. No matter how busy your day is, take the time, find the moment, listen. You've got time when you're in the shower, you're not on the phone, you're not sending emails. You've got time when you're on the toilet, you're not showering, you're not sending emails, you're not on the phone. If that's the time it takes, then take that time. Okay, 19 years is a long time. Be aware of what is going to help you and support you, so that even if it's going to be a slightly challenging time, perhaps lessons are going to come now for this in this transit for you that might feel heavy. Arm yourself with empowerment so that the heaviness is not heavy. It's manageable. It's manageable, and you can overcome it because you can work with it. Anything difficult is not a test. It's not. It's a growth. It's a growth. It's something that you are going to be able to give back as part of your talents. Therefore, listen to it, work with it, and you don't need to feel. I did this for many years, and many people who have insecurities and come from trauma will feel this. Oh, you see, I'm just not good enough. This is what I deserve. Bollocks. This is growth. It's saying to you, walk with me a little bit. Listen to what I'm bringing to you. Understand that I'm helping you get through that trauma and helping you release yourself from it, because that's where your blossom is, and that's why you're here, right? It's to be on the other side of that. Okay, I'm gonna go. Lots of love. Take the time. Please do. And as always, I'd love to hear how it's gone for you, what might have come up. And in sharing my own little things that are coming up, I hope that you can see how versed and all over you can find these growth points. Find out where your Pluto is, find out where your Saturn is, and use it. Mwah.